is not be consistent, right? So I was like, shake it off, Jay, shake it off. We got work to do. We got work to do. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to hop right into the topic. And today's topic, I was thinking about this, and today's topic is pretty cool. You know, folks always want to know how to sell to their customer or client. And here's the harsh reality about selling. If you're selling, you already lost, because you're supposed to be, well, your product or service has to have enough value that there really shouldn't be a sales process. There should be a sales transaction that happens. Someone says, you're buying a book, you're selling a book, they buy it, they take out the credit card, swipe it, or go to PayPal, what have you, pay for it. That's a sales transaction. That should always be happening. But a sales in itself, that shouldn't happen. And let me tell you why. We are already pre-programmed and destined to say no. Most of us have a huge no on our foreheads. Think about it. When you're walking in, if you're walking in a store and a salesperson talks to you, or if you're shopping for a car, and the salesman comes up to you, you're already on high alert. You're already ready, pre-programmed even, to say no. Why? Because most of us just do not want to be bothered. And so it's really hard for us, or people who have to sell to people, because we know how we did to salespeople, and we knew how we treated those salespeople. Oh, but now the shoe's on the other foot. And now you are trying to sell your product or service to someone. And then you're like, oh, what angle do I come from? How do I not come off as desperate or salesy? But how do I still get my point across? So that's the conundrum here. You have to figure out how to sell without selling. So how do you do that, Jay? One of the things that you can do is give so much value with whatever product and service that you have that you make your potential buyer curious to the point that they, number one, need more information. Number two, want to learn more about you. Or number three, you have the tire kickers who really won't buy anything, but they're just being nosy. Okay, so let's break these down. So number one, they're curious. You said something in your marketing and promotion that sparked a question, which is good. That's exactly what you want to do, spark a question. All right. And so when you spark a question, that's when the dialogue becomes easy for you, because all you have to do is just answer their question or inquiry, right? Is this making sense? Okay. So number two, they want to know about you. People do business with folks they know, like, and trust. So they need to figure out if you're a fake or a fraud, or if you're going to deliver on what you say you're going to deliver. Especially, nowadays there's a lot of online businesses. You never see the person. So, you have to do your due diligence and research to make sure, number one, this is a real company. This is a real business. And number two, this is not some weirdo chilling in their basement, stealing your credit card information. So that's to be expected. And then number three, like I mentioned, the tire kickers. You're going to always have those folks out there who just looking around, and they're not really looking to buy anything. They're like freaking bored or something. I don't know. They're a waste of your time. So don't spend too much time, and you have to learn quickly who are the tire kickers. And you can tell that by some of the questions that they ask you. If they're asking you the same questions that you have answered in a sales promotion or on your socials or on your websites, they're a tire kicker. And more than likely, they're not going to buy anything from you. So don't waste too much time even with them. Okay. So next part of this that I want to talk about is learning your customer and client. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of business owners tend to just guess. Why are you guessing? You don't have to guess. I'm telling you, people want to talk. People are ready to give you all the answers you want. So how do you do this? And again, this is very, very easy to do. I'm going to give you a social media tactic, and then I'm going to give you an in-person tactic, and then I'm going to give you an email tactic. All right, the first one is the social media tactic. So on your social media, you want to ask one question to your potential customers or clients, okay? Do not bog them down with more than one question. People can't handle it. I'm telling you, everybody's scrolling. Everybody's scrolling. So if they stop, then ask them a question. For instance, what is the number one thing that is hurting your sales in your business? That could be a question. Now, of course, the question needs to correlate to whatever industry you're in. So let's say, for example, I'll give you a better example. Let's say a restaurant. Let's go for an Italian restaurant. Okay, so the one question could be, what is your favorite item on our menu? Right? You see where I'm going here? What's your favorite item on the menu? And they're like, oh, okay, well, I kind of like that calzone. It's kind of hitting. Calzone's kind of hitting. Or I like the chicken parmesan, something like that. So now we get feedback like, okay, this is what the folks are gonna like. This is what the folks like. So then you take that information and use it accordingly. So how would you do that? Then you have a special on the calzone or the chicken parm, whatever the people say they love. Do a flash special on it, and you can do it like every month, every 2 months, or however you want to work it. That's up to you. But that's one way to ask one question, get your results, and then execute on how it can work better for your business. All right. So that's the social media way. Now, the email marketing way is pretty much the same thing. You're going to ask that one question, but along with that question, you're going to ask a poll question. So like a survey question. Like, for example, let's take another industry this time. Let's go for, what's a good industry? Let's go for real estate. Okay. So if you're a realtor, for example, you can say, what is the one thing, what's the one, this is your one question. What is the one thing that you cannot, what is the one thing, I got it. Hold on. I'm freestyling with this example. So give me a second. What is the one thing that is a deal breaker for you when buying a house? Okay. So then they give you their answer with that. All right, what's the one thing? Boom. And now the poll or survey could be out of these three areas, which is your first choice to live? This county, this county, this county. Okay. So how would you use that information? Of course, in housing, housing and real estate is a little tricky because, you have people's individual tastes that you have to think of, but you would take that information and you could put in your portfolio. Maybe if a lot of people said, hey, I have to have a garage, that's like a deal breaker, must have a garage, then you want to go stock heavy on the houses that you are involved with. Make sure they have garages. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this. You just take the information, utilize it, and then execute on it as best as you can. All right. So now we did social, we did email marketing, and we were going to do a face-to-face tactic. So the face-to-face tactic is great. So when you're talking to people and you're meeting them for the first time, don't come off as a salesy, pushy salesman or salesperson. Politically correct. Salesperson. Don't come off as a pushy salesperson, right? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should be listening more than you're talking, more than you're speaking. Because if you are listening closely enough, you can hear right there if there is some sort of value you can bring to a person. If you ask a person, and here's another hack. Never go first when describing what you do. If you guys are milling and interacting at a networking event, hey, what do you do? Oh, no. Let's hear you. I'm more interested in what you do. Let them speak first. You're doing that for a reason. And the reason is you're listening on who they are, what they do, how they offer it, and if you can add value. Those are 4 things that you should be fine-tuning your ears to hear. Okay? You got to listen. You got to listen. Because then and only then, see, when it's your time, when it's your turn to talk, then you can say what you say, do what you do, but then you inject right at the end something that would be valuable to or for them. There's always ways to connect it. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter your industry. Doesn't matter if you're restaurant, auto mechanic, realtor, insurance. Trust me, it doesn't matter. If you listen hard enough, you can bring value to that person, or hear me now, you may not be able to, but somebody in your circle that you'll be able to refer to that person. I hear this now. That person now, you now stand out because you're the person who went above and beyond. You weren't just another person throwing a business card or scanning your social profile, talking about keep in touch. You have to be different. You have to do things different. Right? Make sense? So, number 1, ask your customers or clients what they need and what they want. Number 2, then deliver. Number 3, don't act like a pushy salesperson when you are networking with folks for the first time. And number 4, always bring as much value as you possibly can. All right. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Once again, thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Wealthy Thoughts podcast. It's always a pleasure to serve and drop some information to you guys and for you guys. And like I always said, see you at the top because the bottom is way, way too crowded. All right, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.